Good day, everybody. This is the Conversation for Two episode with Peabo. I am your host, Rahi, as usual. And we're going to just dive into a little bit about Peabo, his journey, his career so far, and a little bit about some of the accolades that he's accomplished moving forward. So, to start off, Peabo, for those who don't know, Peabo is a fashion technician. He graduated at BCC around, I can't remember which year it was.
Never.
Right, so let's restart.
I was there. No, you could just leave it running. I want you to get all the good stuff because I want it to be natural.
All right, not easy.
I want it to be natural.
All right, not easy.
But yeah, even if you got changing the question between, that's fine. But yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I also thought. All right, so. Yeah, people didn't graduate, but you have accomplished a very great career for yourself because you represented Barbados in Kazan for the World Skills Competition.
Mm-hmm.
You represented Barbados in, what was it called again? It was Mission Catwalk, right? Mission Catwalk in Jamaica. And you have some other accolades. You were at BMX in 2016 and other things like that. So, you have a lot of things kind of supporting your career and kind of boosting your brand and things that are going to push you forward with in the coming years. I just want to take a second to take a step back though and get to the origin of like why you like creating in fashion. Like why fashion? Like what is it about creating clothes? What is it about creating fashion that fuels? What is it that feeds it? Use your creative passion?
I was in my emotions, and anybody that will ask you would always say that. I will always tell them, if I don't feel good about it, I ain't gonna do it.
Right.
So like a lot of my emotions like plays a lot into my creativity because I usually like to use it as an outlet to say things that I can't say, just out there.
Okay.
So I find fashion not only as like a creative outlet for me, but as something that I can also express myself with as well. Because, everybody got to find their own thing to release whatever it is. And that's just how I use it to fuel however I feel about a collection, a design, what I want the story to emit. Like, a lot of that is based off my emotions.
Okay. So like, all right. So I noticed like on some of your more recent posts with your news collection, like you have a lot of. I saw one that caught my eye. It was on the Pride of Barbados. One that was inspired by the Pride of Barbados, right? Would you say that one came from an emotional side as well? Like,
yeah, because that piece is called The Bloom, and it comes from some emotion because like when I see the flower, it's like it also taps into how I see things in life as well too. Because then when I see the flower, I don't just see the flower for what it is. I see the colors, I see the different lines, I see the different textures, and that is like, and just like the feelings that I felt like when I looked and I just just focus on all the details on the flower itself. Like when I put that feeling of what I felt from just looking at it, when I put that into my designs, I do it with the hope that as soon as somebody sees this piece, is like, yo, I just appreciate the colors, I appreciate the textures. Like this flower is making me feel these different things. Like this dress is it's making me feel warm inside. Like I want my pieces to be able. I get sidetracked there. That happens a lot. But a lot of what was the question again?
So it was basically I just asking like if that piece came from an emotional side from you.
Right. Yes, I feel like that answered your question.
Yeah, you did. But I do appreciate the depth of where your thinking is when you're creating the pieces, because I do see it reflected in your work, right? Because like again, when I looked at the piece, I was like, this feels not. I just felt Barbadian, but it felt warm. It felt happy. It felt in a weird. It felt almost like I was looking at a sunrise in a way as well. And I was like, I can see that reflected in your work. But I wanted to ask. So I can see that your inspirations kind of come from like an inner world, like an emotional inner world that you have, or
Hmm.
like a sense of imagination that you kind of bring forth. And I wanted to know, like, was that present when you represented Barbados in the World Skills Competition in Kazan, Russia, right? Did you find that that skill set that you have, was it present there when you represented Barbados in Russia? And how would you compare your skills to what was over there, what was overseas at the time?
Well, definitely at work skills level. I mean, I was pretty good at what I did,
Hmm.
but I still had a lot more to learn. So I was still very much in the green stages. So I would say comparing then to now, I have grown a lot, and not only in terms of the skills, but also learning how to take these same skills and just elevate it.
Hmm.
Because, like for example, like even like when we were just talking about the flower dress, like I know you said it feels Caribbean, right? But like also the vision that I have is that yes, you get that Caribbean because it was the collection is Caribbean couture. So what I also wanted to, put into that is I want to put like the design attributes into it,
Hmm.
but also like make people feel like, oh, okay, well, this is a very, very high fashion outfit as well. So it's not just because usually, usually it is one thing to like put together a piece, but it's also like another thing to actually like conceptualize like the standard in how you want this piece
Hmm.
to look when you put it out there. So I would say that all of that is like stuff that I have also learned, even from like work skills, like coming in just it was like a wake up call and it's like, okay, it's one thing to say that you know to sew, but it's also another thing to say you know to design. So then I had to find a way to merge the two together.
Mm. Okay, all right. I do see that. Like, I did. Now you touch on the part about design thinking because I think that that conceptual thinking to connect both like what's going on in your head to like what you execute with your hands, the way you execute with your like physical skill sets, like that marriage of like conceptual skills and physical skills is what sets you apart from like other designers that might exist in the world. And but we talked about Kazan and Russia. I wanted to bring it down to locally now and how things were for you when you competed in the Mission Catwalk in Jamaica 2023, so last year. What was it like for you like working against and creating against other Caribbean designers? Like, what was that for you?
Mm-hmm. Let me think about that one. You gotta make sure I answer this properly.
I
But
mean, because you came second in that, right?
yes, I
You're the
did.
first you were first run up in that. So you're again your skill sets do set you apart.
Yeah, like I don't. Okay, how do I say this? Like, yes, I can see how it would, how our skill sets would set each other apart. What I would say, like working, against these other competitors, is that also made me realize that each person has their own strong skill set, but
Mm,
that doesn't mean that they aren't as good as you.
mm,
So for me, is more of I think working alongside them, I was able to appreciate the fact that these people, like these different people from these different places, all have like these different ideas and designs and creations. And then just being in the room around them and just seeing them like put together these pieces and then put in the
mm,
mannequin and just seeing how they talk about it and the struggles. Like I think I think that is what I gain most from
mm.
working alongside them.
Yeah, because I want to like one of the things that like most impressed me with Mission Catwalk was that like things that I wasn't able to watch the whole season, but some of the small parts that I did watch, like you guys pretty much had to create there was one segment you guys had to create a dress based off of another dress that your competitors had entered it, or am I getting it right? Like,
No, that was a upcycle challenge.
right, sorry, upcycle
Yes,
challenge, right?
where where the other competitors, we were asked to bring in like a garment
Hmm.
or piece of clothing that we owned that we had no problem get rid of. We had no idea what it was,
Right.
but then when they gave us that, it was like, yeah, y'all about to choose somebody thing and upcycle
Upcycle,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like you had no
yeah,
idea.
like I like that kind of like random challenge and to create something
Hmm.
off the spot. I was very impressed with that because when I think to myself, I was like, wait, I like to look at a dress and then think, okay, how would I upcycle this? But then upcycle something that might but wouldn't like immediately fit your taste. Like maybe you could see a dress and think, I could upcycle that. But to choose something that somebody else picked, right? That's like they might have a different sets of sensibilities different to you. I was like that takes like a different level of like skill and like critical thinking and creative thinking all mixed up in one. That was
And then not only that too, is like because then you're so unaware of what the piece is,
right.
you don't know how much fabric you have.
Yeah. Right.
So for
Limitations.
instance, I was lucky enough to get a pattern shirt.
Yeah.
But there had some people that literally only had like one shirt to work with or one pant.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. It would be. It would be. It would be. I wanted to then move on. Ask you about one specific part. You weren't the only Barbadian in Mission Catwalk. You were competing with actually, which was a fellow classmate, right? His name was Mikhail. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes,
Mikhail. Right. What was it like going head to head with somebody else that you I want to say grew up with as a designer, but you had that background. Both were classmates, both Barbadian. What was it like competing against him in Mission Catwalk?
It was fun because, like, funny enough, he knew that I was going, but I didn't.
Oh.
From what I remember, I didn't know that. No, sorry, let me not say that wrong. I knew that he was going, but I think I trying to remember the story correctly. My friend, she had told me one that she was talking to him. Oh yes, he had known. Yeah, he knows going. But I didn't say anything. But I just pretended. I just pretended that I'm not just saying. Just living my own fantasy world. But like from like day one, like just seeing him like walk into the same room, and it's just like, yeah, it was both comforting and exciting because it was like at least I have somebody that I know,
right?
That I don't feel so sad and alone, that I can just have a conversation with, because being there in a different country by yourself, that could be a little nerve-wracking. So that was the comforting side, and then it was like exciting too, because then like it wasn't just a case of we just looking at each other to compete against each other. It was like sometimes we'd be in the workroom just like, yeah, people like we on here, and they'd be like, yeah, you could just do this, and like we would like help each other however we can. Like even like my last challenge, we had the choice to bring back a designer to help us, and I just went to my cousin, yeah, I ain't got ask, like you just come help me, and like he was so like helpful, because like even in our last challenge, like I was like going through it. I mean, I had like half hour of sleep. We were going for 2 days because like this was the final challenge. We had to do like these couture looks, and I decided to do something that near killed me. So it was like I was so miserable on the last day of filming, and like Maka was just in the back, like the backstage with me, and he was just like, "You got this. You can do this." And I mean, like he just like walked me through that last filming, because like I was going through it. I was really going through it. So like having that there, I think a lot of that helped like walk me through the competition.
Which is great. I like the support that's coming through, even through the competitiveness. It's like it's like at the end of the day, I got you, you got me. I do like that. And so I coming through all these things, all these I would say achievements, these accolades that built you up over time. Coming from Mazen, same thing that we mentioned earlier. Kazan, it was 2018 or 2019. Kazan was 2019.
We're still Barbados.
We're still Barbados was 2018. 2018, 2019. BMAX in 2016. Then coming up to 2023 with Mission Catwalk, you seem you're always on an upward trajectory, right? Which is very good,
I hope so.
right? It's very, very good. I wanted to now ask you then, like, what is it that you're looking forward to? Like, what are your ambitions moving forward as you keep scaling in terms of your brand?
One of the major, but all right, let's elaborate a little bit on the ambitions. Is like ambitions in terms of, just to elaborate a little more on the
Yeah.
terms ambition. Like, do you mean ambition in terms of where I see myself in the near future, or like
Okay.
what other achievements that I would like to have building up to my final achievement?
I would say the last one. Like, if you had if there was any achievements, you could spell out. If you had to write it down on paper, like, I want to achieve this or that, or I could see myself having this or that in the next 5 to 10 years. What is it that you would imagine yourself to have?
One of the main things I would say to start with is connections, because connections is like, it plays a major role in terms of me building up my brand. Because like, I'm not one that likes to be involved in a lot of fashion shows. I like to be more intimate when it comes to my customers and stuff. Like, I prefer to be, in the studio designing, sitting down, going through all these different sketch ideas and stuff. Like, I want to be able to build those connections, and not only do that, but also like, work alongside other designers. Because sometimes in this industry, it could get it could be a little tough to navigate it, because everybody's just aiming to be at the top instead of everybody just trying to work together or whatever. So like, I want to bring like a different spectrum of design here, where I could show people you don't have to be against each other to be the best.
Right.
Like, you can work together and be the best as well.
To
like,
improve the industry overall.
Exactly.
Which is something you did mention before.
Yeah, because I'm doing fashion because it's my passion, it's my love. But at the same time, I've been through struggles. So like, I want to be able to like help those who have been through the struggles too, because I know how hard it is to want to go there and achieve your goals and go to school, and then you gotta pay this and pay that. Like, that can be so hard. And then something as simple as having a conversation. Like, I want to be able to, build more relationships like that. And then also, I mean, obviously, build my brand up more internationally and regionally, and just, make a lot more connections with hopefully bigger brands that I could at least learn from, and, build from as well. Like, that's another goal I see for myself. And throughout all that process, like, for me personally, sorry, I would like to end up doing costume designs. Like, I don't mean like pop over. I mean, I love pop over, but costume designs, like Bridgerton, Broadway shows. Like I want to be in that field where I just get to have fun with my craft. So I would say those are the three major like things.
I'm glad you touched on Bridgerton. I'm going to bring it up at a later point in this interview. I'm gonna leave that for a little bit later, but I want to move on to one other part, specifically when it comes to you as a person. You've had all these achievements kind of stacked up against you, stacked up with you in your career, your brand, and whatnot. And you've achieved them, some of it maybe through the help of others, but also off merit of your own talent, your own success, your own personality. Given everything that you've achieved, what is one thing about yourself that makes you proud? Like,
oh, that's a tough question.
That's okay. It doesn't have to have an answer. It's just, like, if you have to think about it.
I think I can't really answer that right now, because For me, I think like because although I have like these achievements, I think that I'm like in like a point in my life where it still feels very surreal because then you're now transitioning from a point where you're not so sure what's happening into another phase where it's like, okay, well, I have these things happening to me. So for me, it's like I'm grateful for the achievements I have, but I don't think there's anything in particular that I will say that I'm most focusing on right now
Mm.
because it's still so new, it's still so
Mm.
sorry. It's just like even like although Mission that was just like a couple months ago, it still feels very real, like very new because now I'm on a platform where I can actually be heard and seen. So still learning navigate
Yeah.
between all of that.
So, sorry for the rather transition. The rain came down unexpectedly, and so we had to change locations, and so but we got better scenery out of it. Going back to now to resuming the interview, the last question we asked was about more one thing you're proud of, and you gave your feedback on that. I wanted to now shift to something that was more in the conceptual realm, where we talked about, where we want to talk about when it comes to fashion, and if you see a future with fashion being more functional with aesthetics as a secondary consideration, or do you see it tipping the other direction where fashion becomes more extravagant and outlandish, and it becomes more commonplace to see those kinds of things with just anybody walking around? Like, what do you think?
I think it's going to become more of a common ground because in reality, fashion is just not clothing. It makes a statement. So
Mm.
like when you create pieces, you want each piece to tell their own story.
Mm.
So whether if it's like fast-paced fashion or just like regular couture, like they're both gonna be very prominent because there are a lot of things that happen in the background within the fashion industry that add like value to the craft itself. For instance, like eco fashion, like eco-conscious fashion is something that's now starting up within this industry,
Mm.
and people are talking more about it, but isn't really something that we see a lot of it being advertised. But in reality, there are a lot of smaller brands and even bigger brands that are using a lot of eco-conscious fashions inside of their collections as well. So like making these pieces as well to some in this day and age, people looking for more functionality too. So even if it's extravagant, people are still trying to find ways to make this garment as functionable for the person wearing it because there's something called styling and you don't necessarily have to wear everything together. Like you could take one piece, add on a different layer. Like I've seen people started doing things where they would take like denim and then like recreate like jackets, and then like they would have like extra pockets and like extra zips that you could like add on and take off to like just
Mm-hmm.
add more function to the garment itself. So I think that both of them are going to be very very prominent in the future.
Okay, I like that answer. I, before we end off, I wanted to ask you, like, as you come a long way in your journey, if there was something if there's one piece of advice you could give to somebody that would be like in your position 5 years ago, aspiring fashion designer, aspiring fashion technician, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
I would say trust the process.
Mm.
Like life is hard, life is always going to be hard. That's just the hard truth about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to face certain things in life that are going to make you like question who you are, if this is where you want to go, but
Mm.
don't let it derail you. If something doesn't work out one way, you can find another way to do it. Like, just keep pushing. Like, find your own unique voice, and again, trust the process.
Okay. Okay, I like that. So again, guys, this is Peabo. You can find him at Peabo Navar, and that's P.
Peabo, Peabo, Neavar, Peabo Nevar.
Peabo Nevar. The links will be in the description below. Please look out for any new projects that he has coming up, which will be.
Yes, I actually do have a collection coming up in September. I will be producing an 8-piece capsule collection that embodies like different elements that you find in Barbados itself. Like I'm using inspiration from the bougainvillea flowers, inspiration from the fishing net. I'm also using sea glass and clay into my collection. So it's gonna be a very interesting story.
Okay, well, I definitely will be looking forward to it. I've always been a fan of your stuff, and you amassed a pretty good fan base as well. So I think we'll all be excited to see what you produce. Before you want, I know if you have a friend you want to bring in.
Yes, come, sir. Come to me. Come. Hello. Yes, everybody say hello to Artemis.
Hey, Artemis. This is his child.
Yes, this is my baby.
Very big child.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very, very big child. So yeah, you guys, honestly, wherever you are, have a good day. I really hope you have a great day as well. If there's any questions or any types of questions you would like me to ask any future guests we have on, or any future guests that you think would be great to be on these interviews, please let me know in comments below. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. And honestly, have a good day and great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye. Oh, mercy.
Oh,
Right in the back.
yeah, I just saw. I just saw.
I can move it, man. Oh,
should that fix it? That fix it?
I mean, this is cool.
Yeah, that fixes it.
Yeah. That little tree in the background.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wait, you're recording already?
Yeah, I have it
Oh,
recording.
shoot.
I could just stop it and start going.
Oh, no, it's not. It's fine. I thought you like to get like bloopers and stuff.
I do actually. I really do.
Okay. It's a
Alright.
clown.